good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Shaky here with another video, and today I'll be ranking all my PS4 exclusive games. Let's go to the video. Now, before we go to the video, I have to say that this list is all based on my opinion. It's all subjective. You might agree, you might disagree. You might say you should put that game above that and that one below that. Oh, that shouldn't be number one. That should be third. No, 10th. I have to say this right now. This is all subjective. This is all my opinion. You cannot change my opinion. You might tell me, you enlighten me on things, yes, but the only person who's going to change my opinion is me or a higher power in the world. But mostly me. Okay? You can't change a thing. And I'll be ranking 29 games. Yep, 29 games. 10 ports/remasters, 2 remakes, 1 reboot, and 1 spin-off. And the others are just, games are released on PS4. Now, I'll be only ranking games that are published by Sony themselves, not third-party games or timed exclusives like Final Fantasy VII Remake or many of the Kingdom Hearts games, but they currently are all platforms. They used to be exclusives. I'll only be ranking only games that were published by Sony, okay, or owned by Sony. And examples of games that are published by Sony but might not be owned by Sony is Detroit Become Human and Death Stranding. I don't know. I tried to look it up and I can't find if they own it or not. They registered the trademarks. I have no idea. And I'll also be cheating just a little bit. There are 2 games I believe that I don't own on the PS4, but I do own them on a different system that I've played. So therefore, if I played them there, it's like I've also played them on the PS4. But except on the PS4, they are much better. I'll be adding them to the list. I won't be adding any other exclusives on other consoles that are not on the PS4. So the list could have been even bigger. Thank God it's just 29. And let's start. I've took this too long. Let's go. So my 29th game is Flow. Yeah, it's a nice game. I rank it the lowest because it's not that memorable to me. I have a big question mark. What's the game all about? Am I a small creature or a small atom or something? I don't know. I don't know what's the story, what's the symbolism of it. And the gameplay itself, I don't know how I figured it out, or even I did figure it out, but I at least beat the game, but I don't know if I figured out how the gameplay works. But I don't hate the game, not because I put it the lowest, that means I hate it. I just put it the lowest because it's, to me, it's just not that in my head, or I find it the most memorable of all of them. And yeah, that's it. I don't hate the game. I like my experience, but I just can't put it higher than 29. 28. Infamous First Light. Yep, I'm putting this 28. The gameplay is nice. It's just the story. It's a spin-off game. I like the whole neon abilities, but I like the Infamous Second Son even more because it had more things, more abilities to use, more variety to it. And Infamous First Light did have other things for it, like a battle arena, but I just can't put it even higher than that. So let's go to the next one, 27. Wow, who could have thought? Infamous Second Son. Yeah, they're next to each other. There's no other games between them. I like Infamous Second Son even more than First Light, but I can't put it higher than a lot of games because I found the story not that interesting enough. It has some moments, but it could have been even better, and the open world could have been better. But I did enjoy my time with it. They're all both games, First Light and Second Son, are great games with great gameplay. Sucker Punch nailed the gameplay, but just it could have had even more things to it. But don't worry, they did actually redeem themselves with Ghost of Tsushima, and you have to wait to see where I rank that game. Okay? To the next one, 26. Now don't hate me. Don't. I love Ratchet and Clank. I love it. I like the gameplay. It is just... I just can't put it even higher. I don't know. Ever since after I played this game, I played also the original PS2 games, the trilogy. I put this game lower in my favorites. I just can't. I just put it there. It has great gameplay, visuals is nice, but it could have gotten even better. It's just a bit simplistic sometimes, and the PS2 games are they have more content to them that made me not favor Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, my ranking are all being based on being affected by other games as well. So yeah, that's how I ranked all the games. And yeah, 26 is Ratchet and Clank. Let's go to the next one. Oh, my boy Neck. I love my Neck. Even though I put it there, I find this game is nice. It's nice. It's a great game for anybody who's new to gaming. Knack does actually provide the basics of trying to improve your skills, even though it doesn't have that many buttons mechanics to have, but it does what it does. It makes you master the basics to the max to be even more better. I don't know how. I don't want to explain the whole thing, maybe in a video, but I find Nag is one of my more memorable games, and I really do want the third game to happen and be even better than ever before. I love my underdogs. I love them. Now to the next one. Oh, Flower. Even though I put Flow, it's those two games are have been they have been made by the same studio. Flower is more memorable to me. The gameplay itself, it makes sense. This one makes more sense. It's really relaxing. If you want to play a game that's relaxing with music, this is one of them. I can tell you that. And I put in this rank because there are more memorable games than that. But it doesn't. I just don't base your. If you want to buy the game, don't base it on my list. I do. I will say that almost all of my games, all of them, do actually deserve to be, played at least once, at least. But do buy the game if you like these types of games. So Flower, well, it's one of the nicest games ever. I can tell you that. Yeah. To the next. So, can you guess what my 23rd game is? Well, I will tell you. Hey, editor, I want to make them cry. Yeah, Uncharted is 23rd. Yep. Yeah. It's a nice game and all. I like the puzzles, the climbing. I like them more than the shooting. I'm not more of a shooter guy. I'm more of a close combat or a long or bow guy, but not a shooter. Yeah, but Uncharted has one of the best stories. I can tell you that. Okay, and let's go off to the next game. Detroit Become Human. 22nd. That's not bad. Uh, it's not my cup of tea of gaming. It's all, you choose things and that. It doesn't have much gameplay to it. I would have liked to have more investigations, more based on my opinion, or I don't know. I just wanted even more. Um, more involvement in the game. It's all just quick time events or choice based in that. It gives you a lot of options, a lot of endings, a lot of storylines to follow, and it has one of the best stories on the PS4. And I can tell you that it is really recommended. But it's best you play it yourself. You can only play it once. You can have multiple choices to redo in that. There are multiple endings, but at the end of all, you can only experience it once. That's why I rank in this low, because it doesn't have that replay value even more. Okay, but it's one of the best stories yeah, it's a good story. I can tell you that. Let's go to 21st. Okay. Yep. Knack 2. I have definitely made all of you cry. Knack 2 is better than Uncharted and Detroit. I find the game is this one's much better than the previous one. It's more fun, more options to have, more complexity. It's not the next gen gameplay, but it's good enough. The story, it's engaging enough for me, but it's a bit iffy in some areas, like the previous one. And I would wish to have the sequel to have more story and gameplay even better. I really see that this game is a true underdog. And if Mark Cerny, the designer of the PS4 and PS5, if he ever does make another Knack 3, please give him even more love than ever before to, to soar through the sky. I really would like to see Knack 3 to, yeah, I really would like to have it, but only if it can promise to be better than the previous ones and to reach to the point of the big AAA on PS4 games. Yeah. Number 20 is Uncharted 2. Now you can dry your tears that some Uncharted games are higher than Knack. Yeah. But you're wondering why this one's below the other ones. Yeah, I find many of the Naughty Dog games with every release they are better than the previous games. I just find that yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 are better than the you know. This game is great. Has a much better story, similar gameplay, new puzzles. I like my time with the Uncharted 2, but it is still a shooter, so yeah, I just don't like shooters that much. Now to the next game. The Order 1886. Yep, I'm ranking this higher than Uncharted 2. Why am I ranking this higher than Uncharted 2? It is much shorter. Yep, the reason why many people dislike this game because it was short and they wanted even longer, and is one of the reasons why I rank it even higher than Uncharted 2. It has less repetitive enemies to shoot at. It does actually fall into that sometimes. It is guilty sometimes when it comes to that, but not like the Uncharted series. If Uncharted was if they remove many enemies, the game is less lengthy. I'm telling you this, that they made it, it's this lengthy all because of the besides the puzzles, it's also because of the enemies you have to shoot. The multiple enemies coming, keep coming. Yeah, I dislike that. It just doesn't give much more variety of gameplay, just repeating the same thing. Here, sometimes in the order, but there are some new things, new weapons that the Uncharted series might have never done before. Sometimes they added some new weapons, but nothing like these ones were that were using different had more mechanics to them and how you use them. I really wish that if the Sony does actually greenlight a sequel, I will definitely buy that and play it. Now to number 18. Uncharted 3. Yep, many of these Uncharted games are next to each other. Yeah. So, the first game I have ever played is Uncharted 3. It is a great game. It's lovely. I like my time with it, and the story is also nice. I know that many people say Uncharted 2 is the much better story amongst the trilogy, but I just favor this game even more than the other one. Still a shooter, but still has many clues to find, and the characters banter between one another. It's one of the best parts of the Uncharted series, the characters themselves. Yeah, love this game, and let's go to the next one. The Last of Us Part 1, because there's also a Part 2. Yeah, The Last of Us. It's a great game. It's better than the other Uncharted games. It has a different gameplay to it. You don't heal over time. You have to be aware of your health and strategize. And this is not an actual review of the game or even the other games I'm putting on my list and what I'm gonna talk about them. But this game has one of the best stories, and gameplay is satisfying most of the time. It still is a shooter, but thankfully the stealth mechanic, stealth gameplay just balance things a bit even more. Yeah, and let's go to the next one. Sorry that no, I'm not sorry that I put The Last of Us here. Okay, I put it there. I can't change it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Not gonna apologize a thing. Dreams. Yep, Dreams. I rank it even higher than The Last of Us. I much enjoyed that game, even though it's not an actual game, or I should rank it the highest because it's an endless game. I just don't know. I don't know where to put this game exactly. Maybe in the future when many regular people or developers, I don't know, because anybody can use this software and share their creations and can make many games, multiple kinds of games. So it can be even maybe in the future it will be ranked even higher. I put it there just because the Art of Dreams. That's a game inside of the game you play. It's a great game by Medium Molecules. And I like the whole creating your own assets, your own characters, your own game. And I would really love to come back to it and do some more stuff with it. But yeah, I'm really happy that it actually bring lots of people together in the community. But looking at in a game, if where I put it in 16. I can't put it even higher. But I am really thankful that Meter Molecule made this game happen, and made it true. Now many people are collaborating and making games. I'm really happy with that. Yeah. Uncharted 4. a proper send-off to Nathan Drake's story. Heck, it should be the final send-off to the series. Yeah, think of the Uncharted Lost Legacy as a one-off, never just once. Not gonna do another Uncharted game. I find that if they ever do an Uncharted game, they should never return Nathan Drake. His story ends with the fourth of the series. Uncharted 4. As even it has much better visuals, gameplay, still the same. It's much more refined. Many new mechanics like the rope. The rope, yeah. And the story is even better than the previous and other games. Yeah, I found this one of the best games and had a lot of fun with it. Didn't play the online. Maybe I should play that game. Yeah, that part. Yeah. Oh, next time. But I put it in 15th. Okay. Let's go to the next one, and I hope you can guess what it is. Can you guess? Have you guessed? Have you thought? Oh, you did? Yes, tell me. Journey? No! Days Gone. That's the game. Yeah, I rank Days Gone even higher than Uncharted 4 and the other games. Not because of story. This is all not being ranked by story, these games. All of these games are being ranked by favorites, okay? They're not being ranked by either story, gameplay, music, and all that. No, they're all being ranked by the experience, the package itself, okay? That's why I put Days Gone there. It's because it had something much more memorable and much more special thing to it than the previous games. I don't find I'm not liking the open world games that much, except for those that do something different. In this game, it actually Days Gone does one tiny thing different, but it also does many things that have been done before, not in open worlds, but other games. But just put it in an open world setting, that sort of thing. And yeah, but luckily the lore of the world and the horde system, yeah, that's a much better game. And the story is good enough for me to be engaged from the beginning to the end. Needs some polishing, and I really hope that Ben does make a sequel for this game. And I really think that this sequel of this game will be drastically different. What do I mean? It will continue the story of Deacon John something Saint John. Sorry, Deacon Saint John. Apologies for forgetting his name. Yeah, it will continue his story, but I think the gameplay will be different. It will be less than a shooter. It's something completely different. You're just wondering why is that? You see the secret ending and theorize on the whole how we upgraded stamina and health and focus. Yeah, you think about that and then think, oh yeah, the sequel's gonna be completely different. I really hope that it's gonna be even better than this game as well. All the support for Ben Studio. So let's go to the next game. Number 13. God of War 3. Yep, I love this game. It's a good game, and thankfully I played this game before the God of War 2018. It made the experience even better. I can tell you that. And this game, mythology, hack and slashing, Kratos beating people. Yeah, I'm not a violent person, and I don't agree with Kratos what he's doing in this game in the story. But I do actually see his point of view but do hope that he did learn after the God of War 3. Yeah, and love the variety of different gameplay style, not styles, but different weapons to use. Made it fresh to play the game. And let's go to the next one, number 12. Jak 3. I'm ranking Jak 3 higher than any Naughty Dog game released in the modern times. Jak 3 is in modern time, I believe. What what does modern even mean? Currently in the present or in the 21st century? Ah, who cares, man? Jak 3 better than Uncharted series and The Last of Us. Yep. It's a fun game, good story, funny, and this gameplay. It's not like a shooter, regular shooter, and had a lot of fun of doing platforming. There's not that much platforming, but there were some variety of gameplay, shooting or different mini games and riding, and also racing and all that. It has many variety of things to do, and that's why I rank it this high. I really wish that they do actually do remakes or much better, Jack 4 maybe in the future, hopefully. But this one's a good game, even though it's a PS2 game. It's still actually good to this day. Yeah. But do you know what's a better than a PS2 game? A PS1 game. Medieval. Yeah, I love this game for some reason. It's goofy and it's also a bit scary for even little children. There's a little blood. There's lots of blood in it, but the gameplay is a bit different. I don't know how to describe it. I love my time in it, and it's short. It's not that long, but the experience is just fun for me. I just find I like kids games even more, or games are more cartoony than realistic. And Sudan, nice guy, redeemed himself and using his arm to hit people. And yeah, it's a great game, a great remake as well. PS1 game. Even Spyro. I played the original Spyro, well, not the original, but the ported ones on the Vita. Still hold it up. This is before I even played the PS4 ones. That's how PS1 games are still good to this day. Even though this is some things in medieval still outdated, but they're still good. They're still good. I really wish that Sony does invest in more goofy, cartoony games. Please. Now we've reached to the top 10. So, yeah. Number 10 is a game that was developed by the same people who did Flower and Flow. Yeah, even though those I've ranked those lower, this game is even higher. Journey. It is an unforgettable experience for me. It is a relaxing game. It does deliver a story much better than Flow, a much better gameplay. Or Flower and Journey do have different gameplays, but both are really relaxing. So do actually give them both a chance. Okay. But I really love the journey even more, and love the visuals. I love the story, what it was trying to tell. One story, a beginning and an end. Yeah, I loved it a lot. So let's go to number 9. Okay, Concrete Genie. I love this game. I love it. It's a game where you paint things, create. It's not actually a painting game, but I can't explain it. Just watch a trailer. It's a fun game. It's relatively short, but it has a lot of replay value to it for me. And I really enjoyed this game. There's some segments where it changes up things, and thankfully, it does not overstay its welcome. So it's more memorable when it does actually happen. That's in the end of the game. Won't spoil a thing. But I do recommend for those who want to create things. And this game does allow you to do that. Not like Dreams, you can almost create everything in your own image. But in this game, almost a close thing to your head, what you want to draw. Okay, there are some limitations, but I just really love this game. Let's go to number 8. 8. 8. Shadow of the Colossus. I love my goofy games, but sometimes a balance of serious, mysterious games is always welcome. This is one of those games that I find is a great experience. You have to experience this game at least once, definitely. This is a PS2 game as well. I do wish that you tolerate the controls. It's a bit outdated, but tolerate them at just to the end of the game, because you'll experience something very unique in even today's standards. You just can't find these types of games. Sometimes you will, but they're not often created. So this is a wonderful game. I can't actually just I describe it and justify what it is, but I do recommend you play it. One of the best games for me. It does not. I'm not gonna spoil a thing. It does not have a regular ending. I'll just put it that way. Okay. This is a game that is a remake by Blue Point Games, and I am ready for their next project, Demon Souls. Love this game, how they honored it, and I know they will honor the Demon Souls. And I do hope that we'll get other games like Shadow of the Colossus from Sony or other developers. Let's go to number 7. So who is the lucky number 7? Gravity Rush. Yep, I love my Gravity Rush. I put this higher than the Uncharted series and many other games. This is a really great game. I love the gameplay, the whole gravity shifting thing. I don't know what game actually did this before. It is quite relaxing when you play it. It's like similar to how Spider-Man swing through the city. I just can't explain it. It's fun. I like the story. It's quite mysterious. Has a good beginning and an end. It has lots of replay value, mini games, challenges, not mini games. And I like very much the story to unravel the mysteries. And there's a bit of questions to be answered. And luckily, the sequel answered them. But I do recommend you play this game before playing the sequel, because they will make you think what's the question, give you the questions, and you want the answers in the second game. Yeah, and I love this game very much, and I do hope we get a third game to conclude the series. Now let's go to number 6. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but I do love this game. I ranked Infamous, the 2 games on the PS4, low, but Sucker Punch have punched me in the face with this beauty. I love it very much. And the story, you can see my review of it. I love this game very much, and I'm thankful that this is the game that will say goodbye to the PS4, this final send off before we go to the PS5 era, and no exclusive will be there won't be any exclusives planned for the PS4, and I'm thankful that this is the best send off that Sony could ever picked. Even though it's not the first, my most favorite game, but at least it is a great game to send it off for the PS4. Okay, so number 6 is that. Let's go to number 5. Number 5. I tried my best, people. I tried my best to not let my bias of this game to, cloud my actual favorites, how I do. And thankfully, it was hard. I managed to do it. I rank Spider-Man PS4 number 5. Oh god, it's painful. I know that the other games are actually much my favorites, but for some reason it's Spider-Man. It just confuses my head that I think this is the best game ever, but in actuality that's not it. It's just my nostalgia, my fondness of the character that's just clouding my actual judgment what is my favorite. It is a great game. It is the game that we've dreamt for a long time. Yes, there were other games of Spider-Man, but they were long ago. The Spider-Man PS2 game, Spider-Man 2, I mean, and many other games, but they never managed to balance between gameplay, story, the whole experience of Spider-Man. And this game managed to do that. And yeah, it's and why I rank it the 5th, because it doesn't actually go even further. It did do some things like the not the unlimited amount of web fluid you can do. Web people. You have gadgets and that. Web swing even better than ever before than any other game, but there still needs the next step to be even more better. This is what we expected to have with this game. I for the sequel or even the spin-off game, Spider-Man Miles Morales, I really do hope that they wow us with something that is wow, something a leap or even a much bigger step than ever before. So yeah, Spider-Man PS4 is number 5. I tried my best, and I did. It's number 5. But the other games do rank it. Let's get to number 4, people. My next game is Bloodborne. This is a game from Software. Yep, their name is confusing, I know. They make the best difficult games. Yep, I like difficult games. This game, Bloodborne, just made me feel very proud that I've managed to overcome the obstacles of the bosses and the how managed to overcome it all from the beginning to the end. And I loved every I loved every second of it. I'm not an angry person, but I really was enjoying when I failed. I was thrilled to actually do it again to be to get better at it. And this game has one of the best lores ever from Software. I mean, managed to create really great stories, and they tell the story not through cutscenes, no, through dialogue with NPCs, environment, and item descriptions. And to me, that's a unique way of storytelling in games, and it's very suiting for this game. I loved it, and I'm really happy about this game, and also to play their other games, Sekiro, Dark Souls. I might play Dark Souls 2 and 3 some other time, but I will be definitely playing Elden Ring when it comes out. And why put it number 4 and not any, even higher? It is because even though there's no difficulty setting in this game, there is a possibility to, make it easier for yourself by grinding. That to me just makes it much more easier, and you won't actually try to master the game and know how the enemies how they fight and all. So yeah, I put it number 4. Maybe in the future, maybe Elden Ring will beat this game, being even better, even better than Sekiro. Currently, Sekiro is higher than Bloodborne for me. So let's go to number 3. Number 3, Gravity Rush 2. I'm ranking this higher than Bloodborne. I know that Bloodborne is much more challenging, but I find that I find the Gravity Rush 2 much better for me. Not better, but more my favorite than Bloodborne. It's more of the more refined gameplay from the previous game. They added more side quests, more story. I like that a lot. A bigger map, and the whole experience, the atmosphere is even better than ever before. I like games from Japan, Japanese games. Well, not all games, but only certain games. Are the RPG ones? It's a hit or miss thing. But this one is a definite hit, and the previous one as well. I do hope they make the final chapter for Cat in the future. And yeah, this is one of the best games. I do recommend you look up the game if you like it or not. And I had really the best time with this game. And one time our PlayStation got broke, the memory corrupted, that sort of thing. I had to replay the game, a quarter of it or a third of it, I believe, somewhere in that area. And I wasn't actually upset about it. I found it really fun to play it again. So this is a really great game for me, and I really loved it a lot, and that's why I rank it in number 3rd. Maybe in the future when a different game will take that rank number 3. Well, today it's number 2 takes number 3. Gravity Rush 2 is number 3 for me. Number 2, what is it gonna be? So number 2 is Death Stranding. This is a unconventional game than most blockbuster games, AAA games. It is not a game for everyone. The gameplay is not it's completely different. It's a delivery simulator, almost. It has some sci-fi things to it. But why I rank it this high is because of the gameplay. This game was released in 2019 on the month of November, and that's the time where I was playing lots and lots of shooters. Uncharted, Red Dead, Days Gone as well. I am not really a fan of shooters. I do play them. I play those games just to experience the games. They're good, but it's just I feel too repetitive sometimes for me. And there are other games that do actually do it worse. Looking at you, Odyssey. Looking at you. But shooters I can tolerate sometimes. But when I played Death Stranding, it was a true breath of fresh air for me. I cannot express how I felt about this game. It has great story, but the gameplay made me really happy to the point where wherever the story will end up, I'll be happy because the gameplay is worth it. But thankfully, the story delivers something unique. This is a game by Kojima. I never played any of his games before, but after playing this game, I get why people say this guy's good. He's really good. Let us not forget about the developers, the other programmers, as sound editors and animators and all that who worked to make this game a reality. The Kojima vision to be a reality. Let's not forget them. But this is all by Kojima's direction. He wanted to make this type of game, and thankfully, I have played it. I find it one of the best games I have ever played. It is one of the only games I felt more connected to the online community ever before. This game, well, this game does what it does different than most other games. You can put multiple. What do you do? Online games you play with other gamers. But this game, you don't play with other players at the same time in the same world. What you do is that all of the players are existing in a multiple dimensions within the same space. And whenever one actually leaves items, ladders and anchors, vehicles from one another, and also build roads, the other players can also use them. We're literally helping one another, and this is the theme of the game. We are trying to do good with one another, to connect with everybody, and I really love that message of this game: to connect, to help, to do good. If you do good to one, you do good to all. That sort of thing. I love the gameplay. I love the story. It's not for everybody, but if you're tired of repetitive something, try this game out. I do hope they do make a demo just to show people how the delivery simulation works. Because just to know if this game is for them, yes or no. And if you do actually get this game, try out the zipline. Zipline. Another thing. This game does not. It does have shooting. Don't like it, but also only minimal. Only where I have to use them is just minimum. I don't have to kill anybody. That's the good news. I like that. Also, zipline. Yeah. The moment we all were waiting for. Well, me mostly, because I want to end this video recording. The number one game, God of War. Yeah, I can explain what it is, and then it was one of the best games ever. And it's sometimes people say it's an overrated game. Yeah, it does need some polishing in some areas, and well, I love this game. Gameplay, story, the experience. I wasn't actually expecting something. I did play God of War 3, yeah, but I was not expecting the same, maybe the same levels, but luckily, what made me love this game so much, I didn't put any expectations for it. It surprised me in this game. It made me care for the story. It made me invest so much that when playing the game, when there was a cutscene, I was just mimicking, controlling my controller, similar to how moving my character, similar to how the cutscene is moving. For some reason, I thought this wasn't a cutscene, but an actual gameplay, but it was a cutscene. But I was so motivated, so invested with the game that I actually just did the actions of the character in the cutscene without knowing it, because I'm so into the game. That's how great the story is. And the gameplay, I prefer close combat gameplay than any shooter on this planet. You stinking shooters. I like action games, and I like also relaxing games, just traversal, that sort of thing. But I also do like my doses of action fighting games, and this one just scratches it and also gives me so much more. Adds some complexity to it. There's no stealth mechanics in this game, but there are this in depth of you have multiple options of how you can defeat your enemies. You can throw your axe, you can return it right back at them and hit them, throw it to their legs, they fall. There's some complexity to it, and you get also another type of weapon. I won't spoil it, but the good news that since I played the God of War 3, when this weapon came back, okay, I think I spoiled it, but when it did, I really felt that this was exactly the same Kratos from that game. That's how they honored this character so much. Gave him a good story. They honored the previous, the old weapons, how they work, giving us a new weapon, the Leviathan axe, one of the best weapons ever in gaming, I believe. It's cool, and yeah. And I do know that this is not a perfect game. There are not that many NPCs, regular people, and there are some, repeating enemies and reskinned trolls. But at least they give them some, lore for them, more story to them. But if we want some Bloodborne, From Software bosses, that sort of thing, this one scratches it just a little bit, not that much, but only in the end game, not in the main story. There is some bosses you have to fight. They're the Valkyries. Almost all of them have similar moves. They're not that, that makes them not that unique to one another, but for me, that makes it just enough to trick me. Why do I say they trick me? Because even though they do look alike and do have some moves similar, some of them do actually have different moves that trick me into not knowing how to react to it. Made me frustrated or something. I wasn't angry through my control or anything, but I did actually get a challenge, a true good challenge from this game when I reached the Valkyries, and I'm really thankful of that. And I do hope that the next game in the series, God of War, would push the boundaries even more, giving us a new experience. And it has to fill up really big shoes, Kratos' shoes, the sequel. And yeah, I do think that this game deserves to be number one in my list. For me, it's one of those best games ever in history. Yeah, there are other games, but I find this one of the best. Don't worry, it's not my it's not my favorite game. I'm gonna bang my head so hard to find which one it is. This one is God of War is my favorite PS4 exclusive. Yeah, if I'm ever gonna make a top 10, top 100 of games, it's gonna take a while. I'm not gonna do that. Nope. You can't make me. You can't. So, yeah, God of War, #1 for me. So yeah, that's all my games. I've ranked them all. In 29 games. Can you believe it? I played them all, enjoyed my time with them, and I thank you very much for watching the whole video. I do know that you won't agree on every placement where I place the games, but it's my list. So yeah, you can tell me your list in the comments down below. Do please comment about my commentary if I'm getting in a better, I mean. And the editing, the video quality, is it getting also better or decent enough? Or should we improve upon even more? Yeah. Oh, I do have one question. If I ever did have, actually, I have the choice right now. I want to buy either a Persona 4 Golden or a Metal Gear Solid 2 on my Vita. Digitally, of course. Can't find them physically. If I do actually buy one of them, which one should I buy? I just don't know which one to buy right now. Do please help me with that. Yeah, if you reached to this point of the video, do please help. Yeah, yeah, that's the video. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.